Sorry about that. Yeah, it looks like I have internet again. Someone accidentally did something with the router, but we should be back. Hello? Are we here? Can you see me? Well, let's see. Can you hear me? Can you see the stream? Are we good? I hope we're here anyway. I need to reconnect the bot. We are indeed good. Okay. I'm gonna have to refresh my dashboard then because I can't actually see any chat messages. If it'll let me. Oh gosh, it's being very slow. Why are you like this? Here we go. Okay. And we fixed the tubes. Yeah, someone was doing something and accidentally unplugged the router. So we're good now. Hopefully you didn't miss much. Hopefully we left off right where we're at. But she said something about how Phoenix was— well, I guess we can go back in the testimony and just redo this one. Seems she's the type to hold a grudge. Thought it was Twitch being stupid. Nope, it was just my internet, and it's all good. Well, I say my internet, my router. It's all good. There isn't a phone in the main hall, so I sent him to the bridge. Phoenix Wright. He didn't even have his cell phone on him. He had forgotten it at home, apparently. What a naive boy, as always. Not only do I always carry my phone, but I always have my vape in hand, too. Anyway, I was really scared, and it was taking him a while to get back. So I thought I'd go out by the main gate for a spell. So I'm gonna press her on this again. Just go through the first part of it real quick. Asked Phoenix Wright, and she's like, right, the one who trampled me. And then that's where we picked up. As I recall, there was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited. That's it! That's the only one we have! It'll run no matter how much snow falls. Now, you're certain the snowmobile was at the main gate when you arrived? Yes, of course! It was parked in front of the gate! So, she had already gone, discarded the murder weapon, and returned by that time. I'm not sure if this is really relevant. What should I do? Press further! I need answers to every possible doubt. The snowmobile in question, was it still warm at that time? Huh? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean, eh? What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth? I'm playing to a slow crowd here. It goes without saying that using a snowmobile will heat its engine. If it was still warm, then it means it was recently used. Ah, I see! I never thought of that! That's right, I overlooked that too! Of course you did. Then answer the question, please, witness. I don't often go around touching hot engines. However, now that you mention it, there wasn't any snow on it. Snow. Yes, for some reason only the snowmobile wasn't covered in snow. There wasn't any snow on it. Curses. It seems highly likely the killer did use the snowmobile then, eh? How long does it take to get to the ski bridge by snowmobile? In that case, why didn't you use it yourself? You could have spared yourself some time walking. Ah, there's a reason for that. Have we got a moment for me to explain? I think that's why the question was asked in the first place. It was about a month ago. I was driving my beloved little snowmobile, happy as can be. I'd fetched some water and was heading back when I went and crashed into a tree. And the tree and my back both went crunch. Just like that. Crunch. Crunch. I haven't been able to find the courage to ride anything since then. Anyway, the killer must have used it.
Hold it!
Refresh our memory. How long were you knocked out for? Like I said, somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes. It's possible to get to the bridge and back in 10 minutes using the snowmobile. I have to concede that is more than enough time. Is that all you wish to concede, Miles Edgeworth?
Hold it!
Well, it would have been possible time-wise. One element remains out of place here. Oh, and what would this mystery element be? The killer's reasoning, Your Honor. Why did the killer do all this? Why go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon when there are other methods?
Too many unanswered questions. Your response, Ms. Von Karma? What?
Turning to me for help over the slightest thing. Why don't you think for yourself once in a while, Your Honor?
What?
Jesus, over the top as always. Anyway. Ollie, thank you so much for rating! Hello and welcome! How was your stream? I hope it was good. I can give you a shout out. Hey Raven girl! A stain defend, we need to make one. Ooh, more Yakuza. How's Yakuza going? It was lots of fun. I'm glad to hear that. Hello and welcome, Raiders. My name is Astani. I'm a variety streamer, art streamer, and voice actress, and today we're playing the final case of the final game of the Ace Attorney trilogy. And it's real good. So many feels. Aw. Well, I'm glad you had a good stream. Welcome in, everybody. Whatever the reason, the fact remains the defendant could have done this. The murder weapon was disposed of in the river. Another point to me, Miles Edgeworth. Another mystery to feed the fire. Was there any reason to go and throw the murder away the murder weapon? Luckily, there surely is a problem with this testimony. Now, all I have to do is start poking holes in this flawed account. Let's look at our evidence again. So, someone would have had to pull that sword out, run and throw it in the river, come back, and then stab her with the Shichishito again, which seems ridiculously complicated. We have the note to Iris, we have the map. So basically, you're saying snowmobile to do that, chuck it in the river, and then go back. I know, that's so much effort for not that much payoff. Like, it doesn't seem to matter. Like, why would Iris, our client, dispose of one sword and then leave her fingerprints all over this one? We have the weather report. This doesn't really poke a hole in her throwing it into Eagle River. She still could have, even if the bridge was on fire. we got the photo of Elise. I don't think that is relevant yet. I think these are supposed to be Phoenix's footprints. Though, surely there'd be others. Whatever. Alright, I don't really see a flaw in this, except for just the fact that I feel like the conclusion that they're coming to is wrong. So the murder took place at 11. So the bridge was already on fire at that point. Okay, so she saw the murder at 11, which means it was around 11:10 or 11:20 when she told Phoenix to go report the crime. It took him about 15 minutes to get to the bridge, which puts him at the bridge between 11:25 to 11:35. And then what did it say in the weather report? Around 30 minutes passed between the fire starting and going out, which means that it should have been at 11:15. That's doesn't seem right. Okay. Have a good night, HD. When there had to be 2 trails for the snowmobile, trail of it leaving and returning? I guess so, but I don't know if we can point that out. Cause yeah, if it had left earlier, the snow could have covered the initial tracks. What? I was trying to go back. Game. We could try, talking about the tracks with the, weather report. No. I guess we could try the picture. Nope. So that's not what they want us to find. Save's coming? Of course! It's a Phoenix Wright game! You must not have been here for all of this, Uni. We save scum the heck out of these games. Okay, so we tried the weather report, we tried this. Cause yeah, you would expect to see like tracks like this as well. Because if it's normally parked like this, you would expect to see a set of tracks like going like this. And if the murder happened at 11, the snow had stopped then. So I think that while you're on the right track, that isn't what the game wants us to do. I feel like her timeline doesn't add up. Okay, so I'm gonna run through the timeline again. And I'm gonna point out the weather report again, because this is the thing that's sticking in my brain. Lightning struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45, and that means by 11:15 it should have collapsed. She's saying she saw the murder take place at 11, and then she passed out, is what she said. Now, she's not saying that in this testimony. So I think what they're trying to suggest is that 11 is when she told Phoenix to go call for the police. And if he did that, it would put him at 11:15 at the bridge, and then he tries to cross the bridge and it collapses. So that works out, but it doesn't work out if she's unconscious for 10 to 20 minutes after the murder takes place. So I'm gonna press her on this again. Yeah, she says she decided to leave the temple.
Hold it.
And then Phoenix reported the crime. I feel like her testimony is changed. So my issue with this is that and I don't think we can use her previous words against her though, but if we can, in her previous testimony she said she saw the murder and then passed out for 10 to 20 minutes. And then her timeline doesn't add up. I wish I could like present her previous testimony against her. I guess we could try presenting the weather data here. But she doesn't say anything about passing out here, so I don't know if that is what they want us to do. So we're gonna save Scum some more, Uni. Whether or not that's okay with you. And we'll try presenting the weather data. Nope. I mean, it does contradict in some places, but okay, game. Asking to be reported, went out to the main gate, saw the tracks. It's a 15-minute walk, but less than 5. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Let's press this one again. How long were you knocked out for? 10 to 20 minutes. Possibly get to the bridge and back in 10 minutes using the snowmobile. So she talks about being passed out here. Could we maybe present the weather data here? No. Gabe, get on my logic! Fast forward. Piping? In PSO for rare enemies. Safes come away? Alright, will do. So what other evidence do we have that could poke a hole in this? I'm willing, like, do y'all have any ideas? Because I'm clearly floundering just a bit. We have the snowmobile tracks, and I think you're on the right track that there should be another set of tracks if this all happened after 10 or after 11 p.m. because the snow had stopped. But it won't, maybe it messed up and we can actually present the tracks. Or something with the tracks again. I'm gonna try the weather report again. Nope. And also, like, wouldn't Phoenix have had to pass by someone? Nope. Yeah, that's not it either. I'm not quite sure what it wants me to do here. Like, I feel like we're on the right track, but it's not what the game wants us to see. So the question isn't, what's the real contradiction? It's, what is the game trying to get us to see? And I have no idea, because I think I'm just stuck on these tracks. Alright. Saw the murder at 11. I know the timeline doesn't work, but apparently we're not allowed to point that out. After asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. This should have been at around 11:20, where the bridge would have already collapsed. Unless we take this as, I saw the murder at around 11 p.m, aka it could have been any time between 10 and 11. Like, what does around 11 p.m. mean? I don't know. So maybe around 11 p.m. could mean 10:40. Is that around 11 p.m? Maybe? I don't know. Well, let's just give her the benefit of the doubt because the game won't let us press her on that. So let's just say she saw it around 10:40 and it was actually around 11 when she woke up and asked Phoenix to go report the crime. So if that's the case, it would have to have been before, it would have to have been around 10:40. And if so, then you wouldn't necessarily see two sets of tracks because the snow could have covered up the first set. So if we assume that this is 10:40 and not 11, that clears up that contradiction. Phoenix not meeting someone is weird, but apparently we can't point that out, so let's just leave that. Tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used. We can't point anything out from the tracks. So we need something else. Takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Maybe this is where I could drop an objection? Because one, this is supposition, so I feel like as a lawyer I need to object on this regardless, but oh, that means that Phoenix wouldn't have met someone because what Bikini is saying is that the snowmobile was already back before Phoenix left, I think is what Bikini is saying. Like in the time that she had been passed out, someone took the snowmobile down to Eagle River and back. Which is certainly possible given the weather timeline. Is there anything that disproves that, though? I suppose we could try the weather report here and see if that works. I feel like I'm at a point where I'm just gonna poke everything at everything until something advances. And this is just, I don't know, this is just a weird, obscure testimony. Yeah, that's not it. I'm gonna try try the tracks here. Yeah, there we go. I think we were on the right track. We just needed to figure out the right place to object is the issue. I admit this photograph proves something. It proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder. You finally accepted the inevitable, it seems, Miles Edgeworth. However, if what the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks? Exactly! What do you mean? Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river, and then returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be two sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out to the bridge, and those from coming back. Ah, you're right! You are forgetting one thing, Miles Edgeworth. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your precious contradiction, now doesn't it?
I see. While she was at the river, the snow stopped, leaving just the return tracks in the snow.
What do you have to say now, Miles Edgeworth? Is there a flaw in her theory? The idea that the snowfall covered one set of tracks? We're gonna say there's a flaw. Because I believe we established the snow stopped falling at 10:50 and she said the murder happened at 11. Ergo, there should be two sets of tracks. The tracks to the river were covered by snow? What a nice theory. However, Miss Von Karma, that is impossible. Would you care to explain? Why, there is a ruled index finger currently pointed in my general direction. No need. The evidence will do all the talking for me.
On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge. In order to dispose of the murder weapon, the outgoing tracks were erased by the snow. Or so claims Ms. Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth, present your evidence to the contrary, eh? Evidence that the outgoing tracks were not covered by snow.
Witness, please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime. Like I said, it was around 11. Of course, this means the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. It is the weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder. Be grateful it's an index finger.
The weather report.
Snow started to fall at 7 p.m., but it stopped at around 11:50. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11 p.m., the snow had already stopped falling. It is impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up. Ah!
Order! Order! Very well then. It looks like Ms. Von Karma's claim has been snowed in. Ah!
It is too soon to be closing this trial due to snow. Miles Edgeworth, how pathetic of you to rely on the weather, of all things. Answer me this then. When is a weather report ever correct?
Ah, no, you've got it all wrong. This isn't a forecast, this is actual data. Ah!
Forecast data? All weather reports have some inaccuracies. It may have still been snowing in the vicinity well past 11 p.m.
It's true we cannot be totally sure, eh?
What? How did she pull that off?
It had stopped snowing at Hazakura Temple when the murder took place. You need to provide conclusive evidence of this.
I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Very well. I, too, cannot allow any doubt to remain concerning this testimony. Ha! You can't back down, can you? Such a perfectionist, Miles Edgeworth.
Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth.
Let's save it, but I think I have an idea.
Where is your evidence that had already stopped snowing when the victim was killed?
We're probably gonna go with this crime photo, because look, she doesn't have any snow on her. Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed. That's right, but proving that is incredibly easy. If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I'm referring to the photo of the crime scene. As you can see, everything is covered in snow, with just one exception. And that is the victim herself, Ms. Elise Denim. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It had stopped snowing when she was killed. That's why. In other words, if the killer really did go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, then in this photograph there should be 2 sets of tracks. Ah!
Order! Order! Just what are you? Ah!
Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth? Get her, Edgy! We got her! To be honest, I'm not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all the facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple. From the tracks left, it can be understood that they were heading for Dusky Bridge, or Heavenly Hall. At that time, it was still snowing. Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by the snow. Then, when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, the snow had stopped. Thus, the return tracks remained. Can I say something? This all sounds a bit fishy to me. What does, sister? There is only one key for the snowmobile. Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant had it. The key was found in her room after the murder. Which can only mean that night, Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple. But Iris said she never went there. I should probably press on this point some more when I get the chance. The snowmobile can't cross the suspension bridge, so she must have left it on the Hazakura side of the bridge and crossed on foot.
That sounds right.
But what is odd is, when I left Iris and returned to Hazakura Temple, I didn't see anything near Dusky Bridge. You must have just failed to see it, sister. Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. I know what I saw. It was covered in snow, too. But that isn't possible. I mean, it is. Was this me? I guess here's the thing. Larry might have taken it to go to Heavenly Hall.
Order! Order! Order in the court! What does this all mean?
Ugh. So then what was the snowmobile used for? If it wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple, if it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there should have been 2 sets of tracks in this photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used a snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. I never thought a simple snowmobile could cause so much trouble.
I think we've learned all we can from this witness.
Yes, I've nothing more to add. I've told you everything that I know.
But then, that still leaves us with the same problem. If only there was someone, a witness who could testify to having seen the snowmobile.
A witness, huh?
Was there no one out, walking perhaps near Dusky Bridge that night?
I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go wandering out in that. Unless they had something really important to do. You know, maybe some young man who fancies a girl and is pretending to be an artist, but I have no idea who that might be. Certainly no one at the temple that you should call as a witness. Certainly no idiots who are at the temple and always getting into trouble.
That's a shame.
Hold on. Something is coming to me. An idiot may well have gone wandering out on that subarctic night. Your Honor. What is that? It's a tilted butt. Okay. Actually, there just might be one individual who may be of help to us.
Really?
You know of someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder? I don't know for sure if he saw it or not, but there are two things about him that do come to mind.
Which are?
First, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder. And the second being, this individual that I'm thinking of went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he is our kind of idiot.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this idiot that you're talking about?
This idiot!
This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc de Leduc's Guide to Obnoxious French Painting.
This is Larry Butts, a disciple of the victim Elise Denim.
A student? Interesting. And why was he wandering about outside on the night of the murder?
That's... I could tell them all about his designs for Iris, but it may cost us his credibility as a witness before I even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was perhaps searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him. Although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason. And so, that's this unfortunate, unreliable-looking man. What exactly was it that he saw? I intend to extract that from him, right here in this courtroom.
Summon this youth as a witness immediately!
I have no choice, do I? I believe he is in the gallery for this trial. It will not take long to summon him.
Very well.
Larry, you may have escaped me yesterday, but today I am going to get everything out of you.
The court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Ms. Von Karma, please see to preparing the next witness.
Understood, Your Honor.
Good. Well then, court is now in recess.
Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm not really sure what to say. Iris, we only have 20 minutes.
There are two things which I need to ask you before we reconvene.
Alright. I'll help you any way that I can. Did anyone remember to raise an Amber Alert for Pearl? Did she ever turn up? That is a good question. Where the heck is Pearl?
First, about that night. You really didn't go to the inner temple, correct? The last witness claims to have met and talked with you in the training hall. Either you or Sister Bikini is lying.
Mr. Edgeworth, it is just as I said yesterday. Until the incident occurred, I was in my own room in Hazakura Temple.
Very well. Second thing then. That night, the temple snowmobile was used in between the time Sister Bikini returned to the main hall and when she bore witness to the murder.
Also, I have a third question Edgeworth is not going to ask. How did she get blood-flecked clothes and why were they in the corner of her room?
Sometime between 10:30 and 11 p.m. that night. Were you the one who used the snowmobile?
There's only one key for the snowmobile. The only person who could have used it was me.
So it was you. But why? What made you go out to Dusky Bridge?
I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth.
That is a lot of psyche locks.
Iris, I can't tell you about that yet.
Yes.
Not until her safety is confirmed. Pearl's? Pearl's safety?
Huh.
This, oh, Maya's safety. Huh. The safety of the Acolyte.
The Acolyte, huh? She must be talking about Maya.
Well, we say she must be talking about Maya, but what if she's talking about Pearl? Is Pearl also an Acolyte? Does she count? I don't know.
Iris, look me in the eye and tell me the truth.
Am I get kidnapped again? No. So she was over in the inner temple when the incident occurred and the bridge burned down, so she's stuck over there. And they aren't able to extract her because I guess the weather, like the winds are too tempestuous or something, so they aren't able to do an aerial extraction. So they're gonna try to get her out tomorrow. However, Pearl is missing. Pearl was supposed to meet with the murder victim after she finished cleaning up the dishes from dinner, but she never showed up. So that is suspicious. Maya must be so hungry. I hope they fill her with so many burgers.
Look me in the eye and tell me the truth. Did you kill Elise Nim?
No matter who or what may come, I could never take a life.
As I thought, no psychologs. Very well. It is my job to get to the truth. You'll discover this for yourself soon enough. Court will now reconvene. Ms. Von Karma, where is the witness?
During the break, a man was detained for suspicious behavior in the gallery.
Suspicious behavior?
He was sketching something very intensely.
Now I ask what the witness was sketching when he was detained.
He drew a terrifying woman, armed with a demonic face and a vicious whip.
I can only presume that his intention was to capture you, blah!
Anyway, it is time to drag this pathetic excuse for an artist before the court. Maurice Dunim, I hope you're ready. Get in here.
It would seem that whip is going to see plenty more use today.
Ah!
Your sketch is in contempt of this court.
Hey! I was just Ow!
You tried to run away from the bailiff who was trying to hand you your subpoena, correct?
Oh, look! I'm nothing but a fledgling artist training out in the mountains. I'm only down here in the city because I ran out of green paint. Well, to use the technical term for the color, viridian.
Larry?
Larry's an artist now? Yeah. So, the joke, Larry's running joke is that he's always doing some weird job when we need him. First, he was a samurai dog salesman. Then he was a security guard. And now he's trying to be an artist. It's just whatever. Has he done any other jobs that I missed?
This isn't an art store now, is it?
I know! I graduated junior high, okay? Look, art is all about working in the fields, isn't it?
Working in the fields?
I presume he wanted to say field work. I hope. That's it! Thanks, buddy!
It's kind of sad that I was able to understand his mangled train wreck of a sentence.
I just happened to stop in here and found a wonderful new model. So see, I got nothing to do with this trial at all. I expect all of your faces to be red when you realize this mistake, like bright red. Or to use the technical term, Crimson Lake. Wow! Wow! Ow! Ouch!
Stop your pathetic blabbering and testify like a man. Refrain from whipping me, Von Karma. Cross-whipping is as bad as cross-checking. Witness, that was all your fault. Testify now.
Ah, this is too much for me. I was at that lodge out in the mountains looking up at the stars that night. I walked to the bridge a number of times, but I didn't see a snowmobile. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either. The girl I was waiting for didn't show up. My teacher died on me. I'm all alone now, aren't I, Edgy?
Witness, please refrain from talking directly to the lawyers during your testimony.
I'm just a nobody. Nothing but a small, worthless man, aren't I? And why wasn't I asked for my name and occupation or anything else?
Mr. Edgeworth, this man seems to have quite a severe inferiority complex. He's recently been the cause of numerous incidents. I think he's finally realized for himself just how much of a nuisance he has been to other people.
Yeah, that's right. I'm behind everything, every case. Hold on, we need to screenshot this for Derek. Hold on, this is very important. I'm saving it now. I'm gonna post it to Discord with a little spoiler tag for Derek for later. Alright, at Dirk. Don't click this until you catch up on the Ace Attorney VOD. But this is for you. Watch out, okay? Just touching me will make you eternally unhappy.
Well then, let us proceed with a cross-examination, with no touching, thank you. We can delve into other details at a later time. Whatever is the matter, Mr. Edgeworth?
This one single statement is so full of contradictions. For a moment there, I thought I was going to collapse. So, witness? Any idea as to where these contradictions in your testimony lie? Depending on your answer, I may stay my whip. Okay, give me like a minute. Well, it was snowing that night, so I couldn't have possibly seen the stars. And that rundown shack is hardly a lodge, is it? And even the stars could, if the stars could be seen, it's not like I was there to look at them, right? See? You can do it if you try. Ouch! There's only one issue here. What you saw at Dusky Bridge. A number of times? How many? Maybe 5 times? I went once like every 20 minutes, so... Which means you spent almost 2 hours at Heavenly Hall that night? You bet! Real life is about waiting with your heart in your hands.
Love, you say?
It was this man's intention to summon the defendant to the small shack, using this blackmail letter.
Blackmail?
No, that was simply a product of overflowing love, You huffy-puffy, loosey-goosey excuse of a whimpering, whining wuss of a witness.
So, what did you see? I hope for your sake you saw a snowmobile. You huffy-puffy, loosey-goosey excuse for a whimpering wuss of a witness, eh?
Well, you see... Being called those names doesn't seem to bother him at all. Larry? You really didn't see it? Hey! No need to hit your desk. I can hear you and everything. I didn't see it. I didn't see a snowmobile. Why does he keep stumbling over that word? Larry, say snowmobile for me, please. Snowmobile? If you truly have nothing to hide, then why are you stammering like you just flew over a cuckoo's nest? Shut up! What is this? I don't know. Don't ask me. It seems that I'll need to start from a more obvious contradiction. I'm going to strike the blow that will finally get him to spill the beans. You didn't meet anyone. That's right, cause I got nothing to do with this. And I'm just here to buy some Viridian paint, okay? Come on, I expect to see those Crimson Lake faces now.
It would appear that simply pressing him isn't going to be enough, Mr. Edgeworth.
Indeed. It seems that he's going to claim to have nothing to do with this to the end. I don't want this guy to cost us any more time. I need to slice through his obvious contradictions and keep things moving along. So, he saw Phoenix Wright, so maybe we can start there.
Objection!
Larry Butts, I can understand why you might want to throw your old life away. You're pretty pathetic, and you cause all sorts of trouble. I'm sorry! But, having realized just how much of a nuisance you have been, that could be considered a step in the right direction. Gee, are you trying to console me?
It certainly doesn't sound that way to me.
However, I cannot forgive you for simply turning away from the incidents you create. Whoa, you're totally pinning this on me. He does look weird from a head-on perspective. Now then, let us talk about the night of the murder. Sister Bikini, after seeing the murder take place, asked Phoenix Wright to report it. Thus, he headed for the public phone by the bridge. There, he happened across a certain nefarious individual. You, Larry Butts. That's right, me in the flesh.
Listen carefully, witness. It doesn't matter if you change your name. So long as you remain pretty pathetic, you will continue to cause these incidents. That reality will not change.
But what do you want me to do then? Larry, what you need to change is your inner self, but for now, what you saw that night, testifying truthfully about this one issue is all I need from you. Gee, I think I finally woken up. Well, I guess I could still be sleeping. But anyway, I'll do it. I'll testify. Well, I'm not sure this will go especially well, but...
I'll ask again then, witness. What did you see on the night of the murder?
I went to the shack at around 9, so it would have been like about 10:30 p.m. I was lying under my bedding when a white flash almost blinded me. I looked out the window and Dusky Bridge was on fire. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. And that's when I ran into Nick.
You certainly saw quite a lot, didn't you?
So what happened to the bridge after it caught on fire? It was like me after a 3-day stint chasing a girl. Totally burnt out. Like almost totally gone. I mean, trying to cross the burning remains of what... It was what caused Nick to fall. What did you say? Oh, don't worry. It's nothing life-threatening. He just caught a cold. I never know with that man if he should be called lucky or unlucky.
Now, Mr. Edgeworth, please commence your cross-examination.
Okay. 10:30. Lying under my... Well, you know, let's press on everything first, but the first thought I have is... lightning struck at 10:45, so he's off by 15 minutes.
Hold it!
What did you do out there in the cold for an hour and a half? Well... Thought Edgy was pretending to be Phoenix? No, he's just pretending to be a defense attorney. The badge doesn't have Phoenix's name on it, so he's just pretending to be Miles Edgeworth, defense attorney. Well, if you really must know, I was busy being excited, I guess.
Excited, dare I even ask?
I set the meeting time as 10 p.m., right? But I couldn't wait. I thought she might come early, too. Well, it appears she didn't come at all in the end. Because they never arranged to meet in the first place, did they? Shut up! Don't go picking my fond memories apart! Anyway, I was getting a little worried. I thought maybe Iris had lost her way, so every 20 minutes or so I went out to the bridge. But I didn't see anything particularly suspicious. I didn't have anything else to do, so I went back to the shack to wait for her.
Hold it!
If Larry had $1 for every time he heard that. This light was, of course, lightning. Like, pow! Like a slap from Naomi, honestly. A big bada boom! Ah! Or a little like that? Ah! That's more like a punch from Miranda.
Witness, did you actually see the lightning hit the bridge?
Well, I was a bit startled by the flash of light, so...
Hold it!
Seeing that, what did you do? What do you think? I was burning up as well from, like, the fire in my heart. And that is why you went to take a look at the bridge? Well, to be honest, it was freezing cold, so at first I thought, forget it, I'm not leaving my covers. But it had pretty much stopped snowing, so I don't know, I changed my mind.
I'm not sure I care for the forget it attitude you had at first, witness.
Yeah, lightning was from 10 to 11, so that tracks.
Hold it!
You said right away, but exactly how long after the strike was that? The lightning fell and then the bridge caught fire, so maybe around 5 minutes? I mean, I suddenly thought, gotta go check this out. How far is that small shack you were in from the bridge? Hold on, well, it had pretty much stopped snowing. I guess about a 5-minute walk? And how did Dusky Bridge look when you got there? Like, I had recovered a piece of my childhood. I mean, not even the bonfires kids make during school camping trips can compare. Well, should I press him for a little more info? Why'd you go to the bridge? Let's start there. So you suddenly told to check out the bridge. Does this mean that you initially had no intention of doing so? Well, yeah, I guess it does. But it was really cold and I didn't really want to go out there. If that's the case, why did you change your mind? I would like to hear your reasoning.
In which case, please give testimony to that effect, witness.
My reasoning? Okay. Reasoning is it? I thought I'd never get a chance to see something so big burning.
Hold it!
So you decided to go and see what was happening. That's right. We're talking about a massive suspension bridge burning to high heaven. That's not something you see every day. A real like, really special? Can we really trust a witness who is unable to pronounce spectacle?
Life seems to love hitting this poor witness below the belt.
Well, my motto is to hit life back as hard as I can. Ah! I'll give you a few hits too if you like, with my whip. You told me about the burning bridge yesterday. There's still something that doesn't quite fit. It looks like, despite his change of heart, Larry still isn't telling us the whole truth. Alright, let's go through this again and see if we can get a different thing added to his testimony. Larry, let me ask you one thing. Ooh, what is it, Edgy? Well, what's with the serious face? Why didn't you call anyone? Huh? What do you mean? Normally, when faced with a towering inferno, one would try to tell someone. There's a public phone right by Dusky Bridge, correct? Well, of course I thought of doing that.
So then, let's hear why you didn't.
Huh? Yeah, okay, a reason. My reason. It isn't that I didn't try to tell anyone, I just didn't have time to, okay? I arrived at the bridge and Nick showed up less than a minute later. That does not track. Therein lies the lie. I think we can probably present the weather report. Alright, before we finish our objection, let's all stretch. Get a good stretch going. Hey Nestor, we're stretching right now. Feel free to join us. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Okay, stretch is done, posture good, crack to back. Get some water, and then we'll finish our self-care for this round of self-care roulette. playing some games, doing well. Glad to hear you're doing well.
Your very existence being a contradiction, I'm not sure if you can grasp this or not.
Ooh, what the hey, Edgy? You make it sound like I'm some sort of alien.
But your testimony is conclusively contradictory. The problem here is time.
Well, I mean, I've never been the best timekeeper, you know. Waiting for the new Ace Attorney with Sherlock Holmes? Are they making a new one? "3 minutes after Billy leaves on foot, you follow him on your bicycle. How long does it take for you to catch up with him? I'm terrible at those."
This is much more simple. You saw the lightning strike Dusky Bridge, and immediately went to see what had happened. Is this correct?
It's already done? Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, wait, this is probably one of those sequels or spin-offs that's not on PC. Okay, I don't know anything about those games. Yeah, well, I wasted about 5 minutes at first, but like, more or less. It is for now only in Japan. Yeah, fair enough. Hopefully, we'll get more of these games here in the US and get more PC releases. That would be nice. It's only for Japanese 3DS? Aw.
I have the weather data from the night of the murder here. According to this, the lightning fell at 10:45 p.m.
I'm gonna do an HD version with both games. Ooh, for PC and Switch and PS4. I will have something to look forward to then. Because we were just talking about how we were all sad that this is the last game that's on PC. But now we'll have something to look forward to. Yay. Thanks for giving us something to look forward to, Nestor.
You say it takes less than 5 minutes from the shack to Dusky Bridge, meaning you probably got there at around 11 p.m.
I mean, that sounds about right, I guess. And then Nick showed up and did his falling act.
That is impossible. What do you mean? 11 p.m. is when the murder occurred in Hazakura Temple. Thus, Wright was still there in the courtyard.
There's no way that Larry could have encountered him at Dusky Bridge at that time. Oh, excuse me, I have an objection?
You do?
Yeah, gee, how many times do I have to say this? I'm not Larry, I'm Maurice ow!
It has not been proven that the murder occurred at 11 p.m.
His sister only said around 11. In which case, it could have been earlier than that.
What's your footing there, Miss Franziska von Karma? The slope ahead is slippery.
Well, there's still no way that Wright could have been at Dusky Bridge at 11 p.m. And why not?
It is clearly written here in the weather data report. It took around 30 minutes for the bridge to burn out.
Therefore, the bridge must have been burning until at least 11:15.
Which means, what exactly?
Wright did not see the bridge while it was being consumed by the flames that night. In fact, he did not arrive on the scene until the flames had died down. Larry, you arrived at the bridge at 11 p.m., but Wright did not make it there until at least 11:15. I suggest you stop hiding things and just tell us the whole truth. Now, then. What happened during these missing 15 minutes? I feel like I just got brutally woken up by a toilet splashback. I guess I was still sleeping after all. Pinch me or something.
Order!
So there was a missing 15 minutes prior to meeting Phoenix Wright. I hardly see that as much of a problem. Yeah, not much of a problem at all.
Really? The bridge is burning before your eyes, and there's a phone right next to it. Why then did you not report the accident?
Yes, witness, why didn't you? Why were you there simply to watch the bridge burn?
And therein lies the problem.
For even after the bridge had burnt out, he was still there. Staring into space, this witness didn't even attempt to fulfill his civic duty. That is what it sounds like. Ah, but this is Larry we are talking about, and even he is incapable of being so stupid. Which means there has to be a reason for his inaction. Yeah, gee. I think it's about time we got serious with you, dude. Just as I thought, you've been playing with us all this time. Listen, I'm gonna tell you everything. Are you sure you want to hear it all? Yes. I may really say this, Then say it.
Very well. I have a terribly bad feeling about this. However, let's have the witness finally give us the whole truth. Now, for this 15-minute gap, what were you doing, witness?
Oh, you can also find our... Is it what? Phoenix? We have special Ace Attorney ones for while we're playing Ace Attorney. I'm a denim. I'm an artist. Like, what do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realized it, the flames had gone out, and then he came running up. I don't believe that at all.
I suppose artists can be strange folk.
Thanks, Judge. That's right, I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch. Including the truth from the sound of it.
Mr. Edgeworth, has this removed the last of your doubts?
Not at all, Your Honor. One very large doubt still remains.
And what would that be?
Well, this is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source. So why did he think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of him. You'll regret this, Edgy. Tell us, Larry. My name is Larice, like, get it right. Mistakes like that are what keep you from being popular with the ladies like I am.
Just who exactly are you?
I'm Larice Denim, apprentice extraordinaire. That's what he calls himself in any case.
Then you are an artist.
Of course I'm an artist, like the real thing. Yet again, that's what he calls himself. Names mean nothing. There's only one issue I care to discuss. What were you doing? That is a very big issue indeed. Oops. Sketching. The burning bridge. The burning bridge and everything that came with it. What came with it? You want to hear this from my lips, do you, Edgy? You'll regret this! Sketch of my... Enough. Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, witness. What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean.
That does indeed appear to be the fastest solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth.
What should I do? Get the sketch. I've got a terrible feeling that the instant this sketch is revealed, the entire world may be changed by what is depicted there. Look at it! Larry, I wonder if you could show us your sketch, please. Well, even I couldn't have imagined it turned out like this. Imagined what? That Laricinum's debut would take place here today like this. Ouch! Show it. now. Okay, but steel yourselves. This is the world of Larice and him.
Well. So this is Dusky Bridge, correct? Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Ms. Von Karma.
Yes, well, it's a better drawing than I expected. Isn't it? Isn't it? I struggled to reproduce those flames, I really did.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
Ugh, this is going to get ugly. No one has the courage to bring it up, it seems. This mysterious flying object. Larry. Ooh, what? The burning bridge is fine. But what is that unfortunate looking figure? Ah, you spotted that? I thought you might. However much I might want to ignore it, I can't. It's Iris, of course! Iris! I wish she'd taken better care of herself. We have to plan for our future, you know. What would have happened to her if she just injured herself flying like that? Larry, please. Answer this next question honestly. Okay! Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames? Yep, that's what I saw. That's why I drew it. I'm an artist, a real artist. You...
Hi, the girl, she's really high up in this picture.
She's a witch, clearly.
What was that for?
This is all a bad dream. I was hitting you on the cheek to test that theory.
Please whip your own cheek from now on if you wish to test your wild theories. Anyway, no court of law will ever acknowledge that people can fly.
Actually, there is some precedent for this. She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris. She was about 30 feet above the bridge at least. It was like really something to see.
This has to be some kind of mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, please bring this witness back down to earth.
What? Me?
This witness is your friend, is he not?
Accessory to foolishness, Miles Edgeworth.
Let us get back to the cross-examination, by force if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradiction here.
Yes, Your Honor. Looks like I've got another reason to remember this moron. Well, what do you think of my debut piece?
Get that thing away from me!
Horrible sketch of what he saw the night of the crime.
Now hurry up and cross-examine him.
I saw Iris flying, her white hood fluttering. Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care. In your position, that's just being irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. Jesus, staying to give the rest of us a chance? Nah. It was so obvious. I'll give you a whole $1 that that's the truth. If that is truly the case, then there's one thing that we can say for certain.
And what might that be?
That the person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant, Iris. What? What do you mean? I don't understand. Ah! A foolhardy folly of a foolish statement by an equally foolishly foolhardy fool. How exactly can you make this claim? Tell us, Larry, according to this picture, the individual whom you said was saw was wearing a hood, correct? Of course she was. That rundown shack's quite away from the bridge. The hood is what told me that this floating angel was my Iris. The hood is my darling Iris, and Iris is my darling hood. Blah. It seems there are bigger fools in the world than the one at the defense's bench. Larry, there's something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift. Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took flight. What are you talking about? I think you understand what I mean just fine. Why? Why did Nick have Iris's hood? What? Gee, what's going on with Iris and Nick? Why, you Nick! You dog!
I do believe that this unbelievably mysterious sketch is destined to disappear, discredited and discarded, straight into the garbage.
Ah! What is it now, witness? It feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this very day to come. Gee, today's the day I get to completely stupefy you. Oh, what?
What is the meaning of your outburst, witness?
I hate to have to do this, but I have some definitive evidence. Definitive evidence? Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge, and I, Maurice Denim, shall prove it.
I didn't expect to ask this again, but we shall be needing your testimony once again. Tell us anything you know concerning the defendant as depicted in this sketch, and show us your evidence that this nightmare was actually a reality.
Okay, I hope you're ready, Edgy, because I'm gonna feed you a whopping serving of pain!
You've been serving us a whopping serving of pain this whole time. Trust me.
When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. That led to me finding this beautiful crystal sphere half buried in the snow. I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night.
You're kidding me, right? A crystal sphere.
And look, there's blood on it. This one. Pretty, isn't it? But finders keepers. That sphere. Where did you find it? Let me see. Around here somewhere? Looks about right.
And it was half buried in the snow.
It had pretty much stopped snowing by then.
Another easy objection? Yeah.
But there was still some falling as I walked to the bridge.
The court accepts this crystal sphere.
That's mine, okay? I want it back afterwards.
How does he not even recognize it? There's something on it. Oh my, it's blood.
What? Blood. You ready, Edgy? By tomorrow morning, you'll be calling me Master Larry. Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's gonna push me around anymore.
Didn't you want to be called Maurice Denim just a few minutes ago? Alright, skip to the end of this.
Objection!
Larry, that night, there was someone who lost a crystal sphere.
There was? Who? Who is this stupid idiot?
Miss Elise Denim, the mentor to a stupid idiot.
The victim?
I have a photo of her right here. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar-looking crystal sphere.
Hey! That's my photograph! Give it back! Ouch! A crystal sphere like that is quite easy to find. I have one just like it on my brooch. They look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff found at the scene of the crime.
Ah, the crystal sphere, it's gone.
What? What? Hey, Platt. What?
Just what does this mean?
If anyone jumped or flew across the bridge that night, it certainly was not Iris, after all. She was not wearing her hood, and more importantly, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either.
That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Ms. Elise Denim?
A fool alongside another fool. On a fool's errand will reach a foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly, thus it is rejected. You can't do it! I saw it with my own eyes! And this crystal sphere. This is nothing more than a red herring. You honestly believe that? Give it some thought, and I'm sure you'll realize it as well, Miles Edgeworth. Elise Denim was in her room on the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Bridge. Therefore, this sphere cannot be related to this case. That is all.
Ms. Francisca von Kana.
The only people who will accept that explanation are scatterbrains and clowns. Oh, why are you pointing at me? I have popped in and out and lurked during so many of these streams, I have no idea what's going on. It's fine. We're getting into some weird convoluted stuff. The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of the murder. Yet you expect us to believe this has nothing to do with the case? That crystal sphere. It was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder.
After the murder?
There is blood on the crystal sphere, isn't there? This naturally suggests that it was thrown away after the murder had taken place. The killer placed it there to throw the investigation off the scent. Which is the exact same reason he drew that ridiculous sketch. What? You mean I'm the killer? Oh, no, wow! All joking aside, just when did this crystal sphere appear near the foot of the bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case. She makes a valid point. There is no evidence that Elise Denim left Hazakura Temple that night. However, if somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, then this case is going to transform into something else entirely. I don't know if we can prove that at this point. We may need more evidence.
Your response, Mr. Edgeworth. I want your final opinion on the disposition of this crystal sphere. If it is not related to the case, then the witness who you called will have been nothing more than a monumental waste of time.
Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment, Miles Edgeworth. Didn't realize you were allowed to be whipped in a courtroom? Welcome to Japanica, where prosecutors can do basically whatever they want. Can I prove it? Can I prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place? I have to. Can I prove it? That isn't the issue. Just simply prove it. That is the only option. That's what he'd do. That's the way Phoenix Wright would do this. Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I will prove that this crystal sphere is a vital link to solving this case.
You will do what?
That look in your eyes. You remind me of Phoenix Wright when he is cornered. That should come as no surprise. Because right now I am Phoenix Wright and I am indeed cornered.
I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth.
I'll save here.
Evidence that proves the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the time of the murder.
And why are they showing us the... Why do they show us the photograph as the backdrop? I'm very confused. Okay, let's look at our evidence. We've got... Would it be the fact that there were no other fingerprints on the victim's staff? Maybe? Also, the weather report also kind of suggests it because it was half buried in the snow and she was murdered at 11. So, for it to be half buried in the snow, it would have had to have still been snowing when she dropped the sphere. So that's a possibility. I have two possibilities, the staff and the weather report. I'm gonna try the weather report.
Take that!
Your response, Ms. Oh, wrong voice.
Your response, Ms. Von Karma.
Birds of a feather flock together. Are you familiar with this phrase? Miles Edgeworth. I think one such bird is calling for its fellow now. Go, Edgy, do it, prove it! Win, win, win! Is cheering. It's as though I'm listening to the ominous cause of the ravens. Alright. Let's try again. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Okay, let's try the staff.
Take that!
Yeah, same thing. I guess it's possible that we don't have evidence, which is why I saved it beforehand.
Take that!
Okay, there we go. I don't understand why it's the crime photo, so I guess we'll find out together. This crystal sphere was half buried in the snow, correct? That's right. If it hadn't stopped snowing, then it would have been game over. The snow would have totally covered it. That's all I needed to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear.
What?
When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing. Why couldn't I use the weather report then? Ugh. Even if it was ever so slightly. Snowing? Oh, okay, I get it. We basically said that the weather report can't be accurate, but we can say from the crime scene photo that proves the timeline of the snow. I get it. I get you, game. On the other hand, let's look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there was no snow on the victim's body.
Ah!
Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder. What?
Order!
On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge, and there something occurred that caused the staff's crystal sphere to come loose.
What could that have been?
This sphere. There's some blood on it, isn't there? Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge. The murder didn't take place in the Hazakura Temple courtyard? Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness.
Just who is the
fool? And which part is so foolish, Ms. Von Karma? Have you been paying any attention this whole time, Miles Edgeworth? The sister saw everything. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. That's not exactly true, now is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body. That's the same thing! No, it isn't. You said it yourself. Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood will be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. If that statement is the truth, then Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed, thus there was no bleeding. You are forgetting one vital thing, Miles Edgeworth. At least Nim's body was found in Hazakura Temple. On foot, it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakura Temple. You mean to suggest that someone carried the body all that way? No, obviously not. They used the snowmobile. I've made it this far. The only place to take it is to the end. I just need to prove that my version of the events is also perfectly plausible.
Now, if the defense is ready, the court would like to have an explanation. Please show us the method by which the victim's body was carried to Hazakura Temple.
Take that!
On that snowy night, there is one way that a body could have been moved. The snowmobile. Ah! As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon, but it could also have been used to carry a body.
Order, order, order! Blah!
This is completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You've dug yourself into your own grave. What do you mean? The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. She's the one who moved the body. Doesn't that put the final nail in your coffin? You're too late, Franziska von Karma. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. You've shown that this case requires further investigation. What? Where was the victim, Elise Denim, really killed? If a body was moved, whatever for? And finally, just what does this image mean? Do you even need to think about that? Such a creature could never see the truth, let alone describe it. The witness certainly sits on the lowest possible branches of humanity. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point. Gee, thank you.
That settles it then. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances.
Right. I seem to have fulfilled my part in this. It's just as I thought. Franziska von Karma, you make a wonderful partner. Excuse me? There was one reason, and one alone, for me being here. To expose the darkness lurking in this case, and then pass it on to Wright. Really? That's what this is all about? You could have just told me that from the very beginning, and I wouldn't have had frantic whipping me. Ow! Miles Edgeworth, I don't care about what you were here to do. This was my chance to finally grind you under my heel. A shame that your chance seems to have slipped you by. Ow! This is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. You are an affront to all the legal system and stuff. Ow! I demand satisfaction.
I cannot believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has to be some sort of answer for the questions it raises. Have his words here today been truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I'm counting on thorough investigations by both the defense and the prosecution.
And with this, the rest is up to you, right?
Court is now adjourned.
Perfect timing, game. Thank you so much. All right, this is where we are going to end it for today. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Let's we'll find out what happens next week. Now, to watch all I have missed in VODs. Enjoy the VODs. We did start this case today, so at least there's that. Let's get some music going, we'll roll credits and say goodnight, let you know where y'all can find me next. Alrighty, as always, thank you all so much for hanging out and watching. And thanks for hanging out, Furman. I don't have any mods in chat, but Starrybot, thanks for being my bot. Have a good night, Light Hiker. Oh, that's right, because we lost connection. Everything that happened earlier. Hold on, I have to scroll down then. Official Augie Katemo, thanks for following. The Keel, thank you so much for those bits. And of course, Uni, thank you so much for the 31 months. That's so many months. Thank you so much. Sorry you didn't get in the credits, but I see you. We will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern for an art stream. So if you enjoy art, come hang out for that. I have a commission to work on. I will also be posting a new art piece publicly tomorrow, so get excited for that. It was one that I showed you all last week that I was working on. I finished it over the weekend, posted it for my patrons, and it'll be going up tomorrow night. So I will probably make that go public and throw up on my art station after the stream tomorrow. But I got a commission to work on. I have some other stuff that I could do, so we'll do some art tomorrow. Thursday, we're going to be doing more House Flipper because I really like that game and I want to flip more houses. So we'll be doing that tomorrow, on Thursday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Hi, Sock. Hi, and good night. And then on Friday, we're going to be here at 3 p.m. Eastern and we're going to be taking a look at Shelter 3. The devs were kind enough to give me a key, and so we're going to check that out on Friday. I think in this game, we're helping a herd of elephants. At least that's what I seem to remember from the emails, so that'll be interesting to see. Don't know how and when I got here, I don't know. But you're here. Hello and good night. And then we'll be off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and if you're just here for Ace Attorney, that'll continue on Tuesday. Was it sleep before you started? Yeah, I don't know how you ended up here. Anyway, do I need to tell you anything else? Nope, I think we're ready to drop some links and look for someone to raid. So if you're new here, consider following. You can also join the Discord and follow me on Twitter. They're all great places to find out when I'm going live next. And also Discord is the best place for stream news. So be sure to check that out. If you want to check out more of my art, I have a Patreon that you can check out. A lot of my art goes up there. You can also check out my store and my art station. I have a Redbubble store where I have art prints, merch, and more, so you can check that out. And then last but not least, I'm a Humble partner, so if you're looking for another way to support the stream, use that affiliate link. Now, I'm going to send y'all over to Blep. Blep is playing Hollow Knight. He is a very nice, good content creator, member of Emporium, wonderful person, very fun. So please send him some love. Thank you all so much for hanging out and watching. Have a great night, and I'll see y'all again real soon.